The adventure of the lost dragon egg in the peaceful village of Stonehaven, surrounded by thick forests and tall mountains. There was an ancient legend of dragons. Long ago, dragons roamed the skies, protecting the land and its people. But one day, the dragons disappeared, leaving only stories behind. Some believed they had gone to sleep in the mountains, while others thought they had flown far away, never to return. Max, a curious and adventurous boy, loved the dragon stories more than anything. He spent his days exploring the forests and hills around Stonehaven, hoping to find a clue that dragons were still out there. His friends laughed at the idea, but Max never stopped believing. One morning, while playing by the river, Max stumbled upon something incredible. There, nestled between two large rocks, was a shining, smooth object the size of a football. It was pale blue with shimmering silver veins, and it pulsed with a soft glow. Max's heart skipped a beat. Could this be a dragon egg? He whispered. He carefully picked up the egg and cradled it in his hands. It was warm, and he could feel a faint heartbeat inside. Max knew what he had found was special. This was no ordinary egg. He had found a lost dragon egg. Without wasting a moment, Max rushed home to show his grandfather, who had once been an adventurer himself. His grandfather's eyes widened in shock when he saw the egg. "By the stars," his grandfather whispered. "You've found it, a real dragon egg. But Max, the dragon who laid this egg, will be searching for it. You must return it to the dragon's nest before it's too late." Max looked at the egg, then back at his grandfather. "Where's the dragon's nest?" His grandfather pointed toward the tallest mountain in the distance, a jagged peak known as Dragon's Tooth. "The nest is hidden somewhere in those mountains. It's a dangerous journey, but you have the heart of a dragon, Max. I know you can do it." Max nodded, determination filling his heart. He knew this was his chance to make the dragon legends real. With the egg safely wrapped in a blanket, Max set off on the most important adventure of his life. The journey begins. Max's journey took him through the thick forests of Stonehaven, where the trees towered above him, their branches twisting like old hands. The forest was quiet, except for the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of birds. Max walked carefully, keeping the dragon egg close to his chest, feeling its warmth. After hours of walking, he came to the edge of the forest, where the rocky hills began to rise. In the distance, the jagged peak of Dragon's Tooth loomed, covered in mist. Max knew he had to reach the top, but the path was steep and treacherous. As he climbed higher, the air grew colder, and the ground became rougher. But Max didn't slow down. He was determined to return the egg to its rightful place. The guardian of the mountains. After a long climb, Max reached a plateau near the peak of Dragon's Tooth. He was exhausted but excited. The nest had to be close. Just as he was about to continue, the ground rumbled, and a deep, rumbling voice echoed through the mountains. "Who dares enter the dragon's nest?" Max looked up and saw a massive creature emerge from the shadows. It was a stone dragon, carved from the mountain itself, with glowing blue eyes that crackled with energy. "I'm Max," he said, his voice trembling but steady. "I've come to return the dragon egg." The stone dragon's eyes narrowed. "The egg was lost many years ago. How do I know you are worthy to return it?" Max held the egg out, showing its soft glow. "Because I've carried it safely all this way, and I believe in the dragons. I want to return the egg so the dragons can come back." The dragon studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Very well, Max. You have proven your bravery and heart. The dragon's nest lies just beyond this peak. But be warned, the journey is not over yet." The hidden cavern with the stone dragon's blessing. Max climbed the final stretch to the top of Dragon's Tooth. As he reached the peak, he spotted a hidden cavern entrance surrounded by old, twisted trees. The cavern pulsed with a soft, blue light, the same light that came from the egg. Max knew this had to be the dragon's nest. He stepped inside the cavern, and what he saw took his breath away. The walls were covered in shimmering crystals, and in the center of the room was a large, circular nest made of gold and silver branches. It was empty, but Max knew this was where the egg belonged. Carefully, he placed the dragon egg in the nest. As soon as the egg touched the branches, The entire cavern lit up with a brilliant glow. The crystals shimmered, and the air hummed with energy. Suddenly, the ground rumbled, and from the shadows of the cavern, a magnificent dragon appeared. Its scales were silver and blue, and its wings shimmered like water. It was the mother dragon, and she had come for her egg. Max stepped back, his heart racing. The dragon looked down at the egg, then at Max. For a moment, there was silence. Then, the dragon lowered her head and gently nuzzled Max. "Thank you," she said in a voice that echoed like the wind. "You have saved my egg, and for that, you have my gratitude." Max smiled, feeling a sense of pride and wonder. He had done it. He had returned the dragon egg and helped the dragons of legend. A new beginning. The mother dragon took her egg and flew out of the cavern, her powerful wings lifting her high into the sky. Max watched as she soared above Dragon's Tooth, her majestic figure silhouetted against the clouds. As he made his way back down the mountain, Max knew his adventure wasn't just a dream, it was real. The dragons had returned, and he had played a part in bringing them back. When Max returned to Stonehaven, his friends gathered around, eager to hear about his adventure. His grandfather smiled proudly, knowing that Max had accomplished something extraordinary. And though the dragons remained hidden in the mountains, Max knew they were always watching over the land, protecting it once again. From that day on, Max was known as the boy who found the lost dragon egg. And every time he looked up at the sky, he hoped to catch a glimpse of the dragons, flying free once more.